Let's hear some fun facts about our boy George Kennedy.
Well, George Kennedy. Yeah, I meant to look up some fun facts about him, but I didn't. Uh, yeah, I just didn't at all. But I did watch the movie we're going to talk about. Um, so we're continuing our look into the works, specifically the horror works of George Kennedy. And this is a movie that I thought I hadn't seen, Death Ship. I always thought this had a kick-ass poster. It's got this scary-looking ship with a face on it. There's some people in the raft, and they're about to get fucked over by this scary-looking ship with a face on it.
It's like
And
they wanted to carve a pumpkin, but they were all out and only had a ship left.
yeah, so they had to use a big acetylene tank and like cut the fucking metal, and make a face on it. And I have this poster. I have this one sheet. It's one of the few movie posters that I own because I'm not a movie poster guy. I don't have too many, but I've always liked this. But I saw it way back, forgot all about it, so I thought I hadn't seen it. But as I'm watching, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this shit. So this movie, it starts out. We just get some clips of a ship, sailing along. It's supposed to look all fucking eerie and decrepit, but it doesn't. Just kind of looks like a ship. Uh,
It
later
looks a little shitty.
later on, it looks shitty. Like I don't know if they use the same boat all the time or whatever. The engine looked fine, looked clean. Uh, but so after that, after the credits go through, we cut to this luxury liner, and George Kennedy is the captain of this luxury liner, and he's about to retire or get retired or something. Anyway, he's got 3 days left. This is his last tour. He's got this fucking boring job taking rich folks to the Caribbean and then fucking back, and he hates it. He hates people. Doesn't really like incompetent fucking sailors. He's a stick in the mud, Tom. Is what he is. And it's George Kennedy, and he does a great job in these opening scenes where he's just being a dick and not liking everybody. I thought it was fucking great. I thought it was really funny. Uh, but then their ship gets rammed by that other ship, Tom, the one we saw, the eerie looking one. But it doesn't have a face in the movie. That was just for the poster, you see.
And it's kind of hard to tell what the fuck's going on because, they show footage of the cruise ship and then they show footage of the death ship. And, it's taken at different times of day and night on different film stock. So you're not actually sure what the fuck you're looking at. Like, are they switching back to different views of the same ship, or is this trying to tell you that time is passing? What the fuck? Did Italians make this too? I have to look this up. We're 5 minutes in and this movie's already incompetent and shit. We could tell that George Kennedy doesn't want to fucking be here by the performance he's given. So I gotta look this up. Jack Arnold has something to do with this? Oh my god. This is American and Canadian? How is it coming off so Italian? I looked that up 4 times during the runtime of this movie because it was so goddamn incompetent that I had to make sure fucking Clyde Anderson's name wasn't fucking hidden somewhere in this fucking thing. But no, I didn't see anybody with O's or A's at the end of their fucking names in the credits. So, mm,
Yeah, and I think the screenplay was written by Jack Hill. Uh,
yeah,
done
that's
like
what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Big Bird Cage and stuff like that. Uh, well, anyway, the ship collides with the other one. It sinks the luxury liner, and then we flash to the next day, and there's some survivors, and they're inside some like wooden box type thing. It's not like a safety boat or us. not a safety boat, a lifeboat or whatever. It's just some fucking box.
Yeah,
You know?
it's just like a table that was framed out, but no legs were put on it, like a really big table.
And as they're floating adrift and shit, hey, here comes George. He was just under the water for a long time. Didn't drown or anything. He was just under there. They pull his fat ass up onto the box, get him in there, and then all of a sudden, here comes that death ship. Comes up right.
Dude, that is the dumbest fucking shit. It looked so fucking garbage how these motherfuckers floating were shot on something completely different with completely different film and different lighting. The composite shots, one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen.
You know, well, it was several different locations because in different scenes, the quality of the water, like some of it water fucking murky as hell. The other times it's like ocean water. And I looked that up and so yeah, some of it was done in Canada, some of it was done in Alabama,
Alabama,
and then some of it off the Gulf of
Mexico.
yeah. So yeah, you can see that. You can tell like where the fuck are they now? You know. Anyway, they get on the ship, you know,
And it
the
should be said for the next 30 minutes, fucking George Kennedy is paid to just lay there.
conscious, yeah. So the thing is, since he's unconscious, these two dudes got to fucking like carry him up these stairs, up this fucking like little thin stairway, and
From their fucking floating table
uh,
onto this giant ladder that's fucking connected to the boat.
and
And they have the
I,
best looking dummy I have ever seen in my life.
but it would be like me and Ari Lehman trying to pick up Tom. You know, it's just you don't want to carry that guy. But yeah, like Tom says,
But
he's
you're
in.
good men and you did, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ari Lehman. uh, yeah, so they get on the ship and they're exploring.
Nah, not right away. First, the fucking ladder breaks, and the two
Yeah,
guys and the dummy which they're carrying fucking falls off the ladder hilariously.
that's funny shit. Uh,
Again, are they fucking Italians?
uh, well, when they get on the scary stuff starts to happen. You know, like doors are opening and closing on their own. The little hatches are fucking going on and off and stuff, and opening and closing on their own. You know, and we hear some German voices, but not clear if anybody else can hear them or just the audience. You know. But George Kennedy's kind of hearing them because I guess in his unconscious state, you know, they're like possessing him or like fucking bringing his inner Nazi to the forefront. Well, they look around some more. They find some clothes. You know, this other guy and his chick do some fucking, and George Kennedy he gets up and he finds some clothes too, namely like a Nazi kind of uniform. And
Or, a shit captain's uniform.
um, and it's like, hey, this is my ship, and only I can fucking turn the wheel of the ship or everything. And there's a scene with Richard Crenna where he's trying to turn the fucking wheel of the ship, and god damn, that's some great acting. That's some amazing pantomiming. This guy, he lets go of it, and George Kennedy just very, god damn, what performances from the both of these
You're
gentlemen.
not gonna take another one of my ships. Because you see, old George was gonna take over for other George when he retired.
Hmm?
Or when he was removed.
Right.
Because George this wasn't a retirement he wanted to do. He was forced to retire because he's a fucking asshole, you see.
So what lady, she's just sitting there watching a film that she found, And as she's watching it, she starts to fucking rot away. Like her face starts to
Well,
decompose.
that was before she was watching George Kennedy, like, doing that fucking old-timey shit like, "Oh, let me damp your head with a wet rag." And then she finds a jar of these old fucking mints, and she looks around like, "Oh, I can't tell anybody. These are fucking mints are here in case this is the only food that we have. I just gotta know where they are." So she pops a couple in her mouth. And then she watches this movie, and it turns out those mints were haunted. Ooh, haunted by the ghosts of the dead Jews they have hanging in the freezer. Ooh. So then she turns into a fucking rotting nutsack looking fucking thing, scares everybody in the fucking room because they were just like, "Oh, we found some solace in this garbage ass piano playing fucking midget movie, whatever the fuck this bullshit is that we're watching." And well, that was all broken up when the ghost of the dead Jews in the basement came and manifested themselves in this lady's face. So they all fucked off and other shit happened. Some lady was fucking after she got done fucking, she went into a shower and started getting sprayed with blood and just spinning in circles, going boo, boo. And I fucking, are you sure this isn't fucking Italian? Because this is right here is some fucking Italian
And then
bullshit.
on and on for a long fucking time. Yeah, with her yelling and shit, and the guy pounding on the shower door. Yeah. But before that, because there's an actor that I hate. His name's Saul Rubinek. I don't know, but yeah, the ship doesn't want him on there because he's a Jewish guy, you know. So they has a hook and it picks him up by the leg and it just fucking throws him in the water, dunks him one time and it just throws him like fuck you, dude, go and drown, and that's what he does. So since I don't like this actor, I was glad to see him die. Um, and yeah, everybody else is slowly picked off, one by one. And we learned that this was a prison ship, right?
I thought it was like a mobile fucking juice squad unit or some shit where they would just fucking like pick up Jews who were trying to escape at sea or some shit. I fucking, again, this movie's incompetent. They didn't really tell you what the fuck was going on. Just, oh yeah, dead Jews probably haunted or some shit.
Um, so yeah, fucking George Kennedy's going crazy, and he's trying to kill everybody off, and the other guy, Richard Crenna, he's trying to escape with his family. He's got two dumb kids. With
Oh, they're not dumb, they're cute. Especially that one little kid whose gimmick is, "Oh, I got diabetes." Having to piss all the time, you see.
all the time, yeah. Uh,
Is this
but
where I do the piss thing? Shut up, you ugly fucking kid. Who hired this unmolestable fuck? Get him off my set.
Min, the little girl point. Uh,
Dude, they probably thought that shit was so funny. Someone's just like, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if she said this? Get this asshole off my set." Horrible.
uh,
This movie
but
sucks.
get off the boat, when George Kennedy, the ship turns on him, the ship kills him, he's crushed by the engines, and then the family is picked up by a helicopter, and all is good in the world except for the ship, who is still hungry for blood, and it's still sailing off to go and wreck into more luxury liners or whatever. Uh, I like this movie. Yeah, this was all right. It's this fucking old school. It's not like gory or anything. And yeah, Tom's right. It is incompetent, and you laugh at a lot of shit that's not intended to be funny. But I dig it. Had a good. I wish they would have made more. I wish they'd have made like Death Tank or Death Bomber or something. I'd have watched all that shit.
You sound like you work for Vinegar Syndrome trying to sell bullshit there, Joe.
Oh, I'm telling you, it is incompetent. It is bad, but I dig it for that. Partially for those reasons. I think at times when they show the ship all dirty and shit, it does look like menacing or whatever. The ship becomes a character, Tom. Yeah, I dig it. I recommend this movie.
I would also. Sorry, say that again.
I'm gonna hang up that poster.
Get a frame for it, acid free.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put pins in it.
Fuck that. Put it up to concrete and drive screws through that shit.
I'll tape it to the wall.
But like you, I would recommend this movie. It is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. However, it is an entertaining movie. It would be the so bad it's good thing it would fall into that category. I probably should have had some beers before I watched this one. It would have helped, but it's pretty nonsensical incompetence with George Kennedy phoning in a performance, what you rarely see. So this movie must have been some fucking bullshit if he doesn't give a good goddamn. We seen him acting his nuts off in The Terror Within and couldn't give a fuck about this shit. So it's not good. Not at all, but it is worth a watch. Get some buddies and some beer, and if you're having like a double, triple feature of bullshit, make this one of them, and you won't be disappointed. But yeah, it's shocking that fucking no wops had anything to do with this fucking thing, Joe.